त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। परीक्षलोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः परीक्षलोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायात् नास्त्य कृतः कृतेन निर्वेदमायात् नास्त्य कृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं परीक्षलोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायात् नास्त्य कृतः कृतेन परीक्षलोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायात् नास्त्य कृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं। Yesterday we saw each one of us seeks freedom. Freedom from limitations. Apparently, it appears that there is a limitations in terms of my physical limitations, psychological limitations, that nobody recognizes me, nobody wants me, nobody loves me, nobody cares me, economic limitations, power-wise limitations, etc. And not having clarity about the problem that these limitations are like a drop of water in the ear or a pebble in the shoe. I just want to get rid of it, and not recognizing or seeing the problem, I work to be limitless with in terms of money, power, abilities, knowledge, etc. The problem is that I am limited. That sense is the problem. I want freedom from dukkham. That is also like a pebble. This is all same. Sarvam paravasham dukkham. Any kind of limitation means dukkham. I want freedom from dukkham. Mukti from dukkham. It is also like that water, a drop of water in the ears or a pebble in the shoes. Small one. But I cannot stand it. Want to get rid of it. Not seeing the problem. I think dukkham is caused by something else. There is a general tendency to blame the world outside for my dukkha. To hold others responsible for my being happy or my being unhappy. And others means people, relation, situation, etc. And we keep on restructuring the world outside. That's not the problem. The problem is not I am dukkhi because of that. Problem is I want freedom from me, the dukkhi. Everything became. The problem is I don't, that I am dukkhi, I want to get rid of it. That's the problem. So, problem is not outside me, is centered on me. How to solve? One may say, yes, I am dukkhi and therefore I want to get rid of it. It's okay, I call this fellow or that person or that situation as a cause of my dukkham, but then it's centered on me, I know. Now, where is the solution? The answer is, if I was intrinsically dukkhi, if it was my nature, I cannot be sukhi and I should feel at home in being dukkhi. I should feel comfortable in being unhappy, which is not the case. The case is just the opposite. I am at home in being sukhi, not in being dukkhi. I am happy and at that time I feel at home. I am at home when I see myself, though momentarily, limitless, devoid of any limitations. That shows dukkham is foreign, sukham is natural. Yesterday we have discussed this at length. That shows limitlessness is natural, limitations are foreign. That means, as Puja Swamiji used to say that, I am the problem, you are the problem, and you are the solution. The problem is you, the solution is also you. In fact, I find more often than not, in day-to-day life, in relationship also, they think that spouse is a problem, children are the problem, boss is a problem, but nobody says I am also a problem, at least part of the problem. There is no objectivity. And if someone, that self is so shallow, inside is so hollow, If somebody points out a mistake, that's it. You are wrong. That fellow is dumped out of my life. That's it. I can't stand that person. It's, it's a healthy mind who can accept the criticism also. As they say, healthy democracy is there when the opposition is powerful. But not Indian opposition, okay? Not Rahul Gandhi's and other fellows. Anything government does, it is wrong. This is called Jalpa, Vitanda. In our Shastra, there are 4 types of dialogues. Vada, Samvada, Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda. So one is, Vada is always between 2 equals, wanting to find out the truth. They have intellectual honesty to listen other fellow, analyze and change. Samvada is between teacher and the student, Guru Shishya. You know, you say Krishna Arjuna Samvada. Other 2 types are, one, they are our politicians. One doesn't want to listen what other fellow says. I am right, that's all. Keeps on blabbering whatever he or she wants to say. And the other one is, I have nothing to say, but you are wrong. So our opposition in India is that the last 2 categories, you know, Jalpa and Vitanda. I am right and you are always wrong. Whatever, even the surgical strike, if it is done to Pakistan, they say you are wrong. You have done a wrong thing. Anything you do is wrong. You know. Other day Modi ji said, you know, in some context, my prarabdha, I am stuck with such opposition. In Gujarat, he said, oh, nasib lain aayo chhe, aau bhatkayo chhe mane virodh paksh. Anyway, he said, so the point is, one should be open to listen. At least, perhaps I may be wrong. Anyway, that's a vyavhara. Even that is a tip. This is not Vedanta, though just for information. By the way, this is. So coming back to this, perhaps my own experience shows that I never ever could find total happiness, total limitlessness, in spite of all achievements here. And through analysis, I can see that hereafter also will be the same. Then perhaps at least I may be the solution. At least this much feeling comes. Perhaps I have to find out something else. What am I doing is not the solution. So there is an uparati. That means withdrawal from known pursuits. And as I mentioned yesterday, at that time, person is very gullible. The person wants to do something unconventional. Person wants to do something uncommon. Person wants to do something which other than what he or she or others are doing, and therefore can end up in yoga, can end up in asana pranayama, can end up in meditation, can end up in thoughtlessness and deep dive within and seva and all kinds of things. This is grace. And this is the blessings to grow up in this culture. That nirvedamayad, that I don't want to do anything conventional, anything common, anything which I have been doing here or hereafter. This is the gift the culture gives. Fellow always thinks of going to a guru. That much is left now. Maybe before few centuries or before a millennia, the society, the culture was live to the vision of the Vedas, and the fellow may think, I have to learn from a teacher. At least while Arjuna's time, it was alive. Arjuna had this feeling. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachokam indriyanam. He said, I don't see that my problem can be solved. Even if I get the kingdom of all the three lokas, become a king of heaven as well, it will not solve the problem. It looks to me. So what I have been doing and what others are doing is not the means to remove the dukkham centered on me, the dukkhi. I want to see me, the sukhi. To remove the sense of limitation centered on I. And therefore, he says, Shishyaste. He approached the Guru. Shadhi mam prapanna. He knew solution is in knowledge. Shadhi mam prapannam sharanagatam shadhi shikshaya. May you please teach me. I have surrendered to you. That was a gift. That's a grace that if you are born in this culture, you get it, but not no more today. At least this much is there. I have to go out somewhere, to go to Guru, some ashram, that sense is there. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, we left this. This is a grace. How come, and that grace, that how come I thought of this? That what I have been doing and what exactly I want, that my doing will not solve this fundamental problem. It will not give me that what I basically want in life. That clarity may not be there, but that feeling of discomfort is there. I want to give up. That feeling is there. And then you go to somebody, and to get stuck to the traditional acharya is a great, great blessings. It's a grace. One may have direct straight to Swami Dayananda or this tradition. Like me, I was gifted. Somehow I just stuck with him. And then within 3 days it was over. I decided this is what it is. Somehow I got that clarity. Maybe punya, some krupa. Or you go around and I know people have gone to such ashram. In every course while Swamiji was alive, there were people, men of 40s and 50s, who already have had a sannyasa for last 20 years, gone to this ashram and this mission and that tradition, and finally come to Swamiji. That's a grace. Durlabham trayamevaitat manusyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshra. Second, the first step is that mumukshu, the desire for this freedom to be converted into jignasu. Perhaps I am the solution and I need to study Shastra. At least I would confess that I didn't have the clarity when I met Swamiji. I was looking something out of the world. More I listened, I gained the clarity. Yes, this will solve the problem. But somehow there was a feeling that this is the right thing where I have come. This is what I want to stuck. Second or third day itself, I told you. So that's a grace. And some people take a few years to discover this. I have seen people after attending the entire course, they get into meditation. They get into kriyas. And that's a papam. That's a prarabdha. You get somewhere else and get lost. Anyway. Now this jignasu, what he has to do, Saguru mevavi gachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. This, as I said, there is a confusion about what exactly I want and confusion what will solve my problem. At least that jignasu, the fellow has become a jignasu and wants knowledge. Here one thing I would like to talk. All of us, we are born with like company, promoters capital, when they start a company, there's a promoters capital. Our promoters capital is ignorance. Total ignorance. That ignorance can be looked at as twofold. Ignorance about the world outside and ignorance about myself. As we grow, the senses of perception, capacities for cognition keeps on growing. And through these senses and buddhi, capacity to cognize, we keep shedding ignorance about the world outside. But never ever we think or question, who am I? A typical example, a baby, just 1.5 years or 2 years, just have started talking, will raise hundreds of questions. What is this? Why is that? Etc. etc. He'll keep asking to mom and parents. I remember when I was studying, we had a lesson in Gujarati. The daddy was sleeping and the baby was sitting on the daddy's tummy on a Sunday afternoon. And daddy sees the shirt and holds the hand in the button and keeps rotating. So daddy thought it will remove the button from the shirt. So don't do that. He said, why? Baby said, why? Because no, it's a button. What is button? Next reason. The daddy was confused what to answer. Then this fellow was in a mood. Mummy is button. He said, Mummy is button. Then the daddy says, no, I am the button for mummy. She can press and put me on and put me off. It's not the button. Like that, it goes on and on. And then finally, the typical father would call his wife, hey, Suja, take him away. This fellow, I want to read or sleep for now. So we keep questioning. That jignasa to know is all the way. And that is a gift again. And it's so much so, that's why this Google search engines, etc. are surviving. That's why this YouTube is surviving. Because everybody hits the site, wants to know. But never ever there is a Atma Jignasa. It's a $1 billion question to say who am I or who I can be. We just take ourselves for granted. This is what I am. Son of so-and-so, brother or sister of so-and-so, and my name is this and this, friend of so-and-so, studying in this grade or university or whatever, or working in this corporate office or this office, and this is my position, etc., etc. This fellow has recognized that if I am the problem and I am the solution, that means the problem is of self-ignorance. Ignorance, any ignorance, can be removed only through proper and adequate means of knowledge. No other way. That means of knowledge in Sanskritam is called pramanam. It should be proper and adequate. For example, ignorance about the color, ignorance about the form. The proper means to remove that ignorance are eyes. That's a proper, not ears, not nose, not skin, touch, sense of touch, nothing. Not meditation. You have to see it, to know the sound. Ignorance about what the person is speaking. To hear the sound, the means are ears, nothing else. Through the eyes, you may infer from the expression, body language, and some lip movement. A person might be saying this, but might be, it is often wrong. Therefore, in a certain odd situation, when they cannot speak it loudly, they and that fellow says, what? And doesn't understand what this guy is saying. So, the means of knowledge is necessary. The available means of knowledge, namely 5 senses of perception, can help me to remove the ignorance about anything other than me. For I operate them. I am the subject who uses that. It is like in a dark place or a dark night and you are on an outing in a forest, camping, and you have a torch, battery operated torch. The torch light can illumine anything and everything other than the cell. The battery cells. They are the one who enlightens the bulb. Otherwise, bulb cannot illumine anything. And suppose somebody asks, oh, it's a very powerful light. Which are the company? Which are the cells? What company? And then you remove and put it in front of the bulb, you cannot see. I operate these sense organs. I am the subject. They are designed to reveal, to illumine, or the object other than myself. That means they are designed to remove ignorance of something other than me. And all other means of knowledge based on pratyaksha. Vedanta accepts 6 means of knowledge: pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, etc., anupalabdhi and shabda, etc. Upapattihi. I will not get into that details now, but just take this statement. Even inference is a means of knowledge. Understand? Inference can be wrong. Inference may lead to belief, but it is a means of knowledge, provided what you see, the basis on which you infer, and your inference has invariable, inconcomitable relationship. Avina bhava sambandha. Like our famous example, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. There is an invariable relationship. You see the smoke in the mountains, you don't see fire, but you infer there must be fire because there is a smoke. That is invariable relation. There cannot be smoke without fire. Nowadays, there can be fire without smoke. Your kitchen fire, it is without smoke. And there are some fires at home also, inside, without smoke, without speaking. But there is fire. The person is angry, from the expressions, the body language, etc. So all other means of knowledge, anumana, arthapatti, upapattihi, anupalabdhihi, and shabda, they are all based on pramanam, pratyaksham. Inference also requires some perception. Without that, you cannot infer, at least hearing the sound. This is this person coming over here. You may not have seen that. But then the point is, what is the means of knowledge for self? I have to know the self. How do I know it? And they say, Shastra is a pramanam. Shruti is a pramanam. Veda is a pramanam. The words often give you indirect knowledge. Somebody say, and that is not even a knowledge, it's a belief. Suppose I tell you, come to my ashram, it's a very good ashram. Now we get, and the Indians will understand, will be tempted to come. Oh, nowadays we get so delicious mangoes, I tell you. It is nectar. And in my ashram, we have some mango trees, and this year we got almost 600 to 700 mangoes. My God, really, Swami? Yes. And still coming, and we may cross 1,000. Very delicious. Somebody came and I gave it to that fellow, and 4 or 5% you check, they said, I have never eaten such kind of mango. My God. This gives some knowledge. That Swamiji's ashram has mango trees and they are delicious. But you have to verify. It may be wrong also. And it may not be as delicious as you thought so. Having come over, you may say, Swamiji, what you said was nothing, it is much more. And someone may say, this is good, but my uncle has a farm and they have still better. It can be. But the words can give the knowledge of the self, direct knowledge of the self. Here, please understand what is pramana. You know, Prama-karanam pramanam. That which gives rise to prama. In English, you have to translate prama as knowledge. But in prama is there is a definition. What is prama? Ansandigdam abaditam gnanam prama. The knowledge free from sandigdha, asandigdam, free from doubts. And the knowledge free from errors, abaditam, that knowledge which cannot be negated in any which way. That is where the role of mananam and nididhyasanam comes in. We'll see that whenever the discussion comes. Mananam is there to remove the doubts. Nididhyasanam is to make the knowledge steady. In a sense, it is sullied by habitual errors. So another definition of pramanam is also prama anadhigata abadita phalavata artha janakam gnanam prama. Anadhigata. What is anadhigata? That which is not known and that which cannot be known through other means. Abaditam, that which cannot be negated. Anadhikata, abadita, phalavat, arthabodhakam, that which produces a fruitful result for you, and that which gives you that knowledge is pramana. Now the nature of pramanam is, listen this carefully, this is very important point I am telling. That what is revealed by pramanam can never ever be verified or negated by any other means of pramanam. When your eye says this, look at this in my hand. This is a piece of paper. I am making some sound. You can hear. And this is white in color. So eyes have shown you the color of this, has revealed the color of this piece of paper. That this is white or not cannot be verified by any other means of knowledge. I'll try through years. Swamiji, are you sure it is white? Let me rub to my ears and see. It can be orange also. Let me smell it. No, 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 it is not white, it is black. No way. You cannot. It may happen in absence of proper means of knowledge. You may want to verify it, like a typical American rose. When you come to USA, there I see these two things. They have flowers, and one thing is commonly I have seen that the flowers don't have smell, and so there are good roses, very colorful roses, and you fall for it. The typical Indian would go and try to smell it, but there is no smell. But at the same time, I have seen there are plastic roses also, made up of plastic. You don't know that's a real one or plastic one. Eyes will show you it is rose. That's a form of the rose. But to see whether it is real or plastic, you have to touch it. So the means of, when having touched it, you touch it and discover it's a plastic thing, you cannot say, no, no, my eyes tell it is a rose, therefore it must be real. You cannot say that. Understand? What is revealed by proper pramanam? And when I said adequate means of knowledge, eyes are the means of knowledge to know the color and the form. But suppose I have some issue, short sight or long sight issue, I need spectacles. That means I don't have enough or adequate means of knowledge. When I wear my glasses and see the thing, it is adequate. Eyes by itself is a proper means. And when I have glasses or some issues, then it means I have to make it adequate. If a vastu is revealed by adequate and proper means of knowledge, it can never be verified or negated by another means of knowledge. I would like to repeat this, and the reason I'll tell you that. It can never be verified or negated by any other means of knowledge. Now, this is the point I'm making. Nowadays, it's a fashion. Everybody goes on. People have bought this idea that our Vedas are scientific. And all other forms are scientific. Everything is scientific for us. And they go to the extent of proving everything scientific. Means somebody told me other day, that ladies, women wear, and those days men also used to wear some bangle type thing in the hand. And that too golden kangan. They all wear gold in the hand. You see, it is scientific, Swami. I said, really? Yes, it is scientific. Wearing Mangal Sutra also is scientific. Our lingam or chinha for Sumangali, married or woman, is that she has something in the neck, golden Mangal Sutra, and she has a bangle, golden bangle. That's a chin. And the reason is it is scientific. He said, yes, what is the reason? It's so stupid. They said women's wrists are weak, So when the gold rubs near the hand, wrist becomes strong. It has been proved by such and such a scientific research. I said, what is in the problem in the neck? And then he gave some other reason. That is not the case. Whether it can be or may not be, the reason is altogether different. But when we are saying that our Vedas are scientific, science is within the realm of human intellect. That means Vedas, we are reducing them to within the realm of human intellect. And the very definition of Veda is, it is beyond human intellect. Pratyakshena anumityava yastu upayo na vidyate tadvindate vedena tasmat vedasya vedata. Veda is called Veda because it helps you to know something, that thing, and therefore they are called Vedas. Vid gnane, what? Pratyakshena anumityava. Through your perception or inference or any other means, that you cannot know, that which you cannot know through all available means of knowledge, that vastu is revealed by Veda, and therefore it is worthy to be called as Veda. That means Veda is beyond human intellect, what is revealed in that. That doesn't mean it is not cognizable. It is not recognizable, not knowable. Vedas are beyond logic. That doesn't mean it is illogical. What is revealed by Veda is logical, but it is beyond logic. And by saying that it is scientific, we are insulting rishis and insulting our Vedas. Please understand. It is beyond known means of knowledge for two reasons, both. Because first part of the Veda is Karmakanda. Karmakanda means the means and the ends are revealed. You can never ever find out the connection between these means and that end. How does this mantra, how does this yajna, how does this vidhi, or how does this chanting produces this result, you cannot know. And the second part, what we call it as a Vedanta, or we call it as Upanishad, reveals the self, which is not available, as just now I said, it is not available to you through any means of knowledge. And therefore, it is beyond human buddhi, but it is the buddhi that has to recognize, and it will recognize, because it talks about the very subject I. Now the question comes, what is the nature of self-ignorance? While defining the pramanam, I said anadhigatam. It reveals something which you do not know. Is the self unknown or known? There is a peculiar situation. Self is self-evident, self-revealing, self-existent fact. Atman is like that. It is known. If it is known, I don't need pramanam. I already know it. And if it is unknown, then I may know or I may not know. I don't care to know. There are so many things I am unknown to, and I may use it. I have a choice to know. But they say knowing the self is choiceless. Why so? How it is known and how it is unknown. Self being self-revealing, svata siddha, chit swarupatvat, I am is known. That I am, I is known. But then, that I am is Jagat Karanam Brahma. I am Brahman. Which Brahman? Which is the cause of the universe? Past, present, and futures to come. I am the cause of the time, whereas I am not within the time. I am beyond time means, understand these words, beyond time. Beyond time means, not touched by time means, I caused the time to be there. Beyond space, I am the cause of the space. Tasmat satyam gnanam anantam brahma. Tasmad va etasmad atmanah akasha sambhutah. That Brahman, which is said to be the cause, tatastha lakshanattvena, cause of Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi is me. That fact is not. That fact is apaurusheya, that is beyond human cognition. Why cognition? I would say beyond imagination. Nobody can think of this. And that fact needs to be understood. And that is what it is revealed in the Vedanta, in Upanishad. By just sitting and asking, who am I, who am I, who am I, it doesn't solve the problem. Or go to meditation, dive deep within, the tone changes, eyes closes, and have a divine experience, transcendental bliss. And some people say it, they want to make it more effective. So they break and say, transcendental bliss. I feel like telling him, better correct your way of telling. After 60s, when you will lose the teeth, you will wear the denture, and by speaking dental, that denture will come out. The denture will come out. There are some names in Gujarati, especially of the women, which mother-in-laws don't like, because mother-in-law is very old and having dentures. And when she gets angry on the daughter-in-law, this name like this, Sarmishtha. When she says Tha, the denture comes out. Sarmita name is then mother-in-law. There is a tradition in India, some of the families, when the lady marries, her name is changed, by in-laws. I guess this has come from those issues only. She must be having such names, and mother-in-law might have objected. Let me change the name to save my tension. Similarly, the fellow is telling transcendental, the dental will come out. Better speak slowly. Anyway, coming back to this, the self is revealed already. Is not going to say that I am Jagat Karanam Brahma. Exactly like when you see a snake in place of rope, and you keep on meditating on the snake. What is this? Why? It is not going to tell, hey, I am not the snake, I am the rope. It's not going to tell. Atma doesn't speak at all. It doesn't reveal at all. It is already revealed. It is self-evident, self-existing fact. In fact, as I told you, everything else is revealed because of him, because of the Atma. Balyadishvapi jagradadishupi sarvasvavasthasvapi vyavrittasvanuvartamanamaham ityantaspurantam sada svatmanam pragatīkaroti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. That's a self. So it's not possible unless you expose yourself to Shastra. That the means to know the self has to come from outside, other than my available means. To know the self means what? To know the self as Jagat Karanam Brahma. Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. The essence of the whole teaching is Tattvamasi. You are that, not what you take yourself to be. And that is Shastra. And since it is beyond some human available means of knowledge, it is apaurushaya, arsham. Anything arsham is called apaurushaya. Arsham means revealed by the rishis, belonging to rishis, Rishi means Rishanti Jananti Atindriya Vishayam Iti Rishi. One who knows something that which is beyond the sense organs and means of knowledge, available means of knowledge. So Arsham is called Apaurush. Now, earlier I had told you, the knowledge revealed by proper and adequate means of knowledge cannot be verified or contradicted by another means. So when the Shruti says, Hey Shvetaketu, hey Jiva, and our Swamiji would say, hey idiot, you are Tattvamasi, hey Shvetaketu, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. You cannot say, no, I don't think so, I'm not Brahman, I don't think so. It is like saying, eyes are telling that this is white envelope. No, I think this cannot be white. You have no, there is, the eyes have no role in this. Eyes can neither verify nor contradict what says. So the first thing is to understand, to look at Shruti as a pramanam. When you see as a pramanam, then asambhavana goes. No, it cannot be possible. That sense goes. It is true. What Naradji said to Sanat Kumara, Mahadbhyaha bhavadbhyaha etat shrutam maya tarati shokam atma vidya. I have heard this. I have known through Mahapurushas that knowing the self, you cross over the shoka, you become purna. That is the pramana buddhi. And how does the two things more? Why should I go to teacher? And they say, Shraddhavan labhate gnanam. Why should I have Shraddha? This pramana vyapara, means operation of the means of knowledge requires surrender. What do I mean by surrender? Any means of knowledge, when operated, the will is not involved. Exactly like those old cameras with a film, Kodak film inside. And when you shoot something, when you open the lens, moment you open the lens, it just prints. What is there in front gets imprinted in that negative. Similarly, when there is no operation of the will and you are exposed to pramana, knowledge takes place. Knowledge is always, prama is spontaneously and choiceless. You have a choice in action, not in knowledge. That is called surrender. Look at this. Again, the same good old example. This piece of paper in front of me. I told you to look at this piece of paper. Some of you are still busy in writing and know that I have seen Swamiji the same piece of paper. So may choose not to move your head. Some of you are doing something and maybe looking and just listening. Some of you have not opened the video, couple of them. That's choice. So you have choice to turn the head. One person always used to listen with closed eyes, and he said, Swamiji, I am deeply listening to you. The deep word is used in so many meanings, like our yoga. Anyway, coming back to this. So you will choose. But now tell me, there is a will to sit down, to look this way, to look that way, to look up or to write. But when you willed to look at your screen, And when you will to look at me with eyes open, and adequate glasses, etc., do you have any choice in seeing this? No. You have to see and see it as a white. I may look up, may not look up. I may look left, may not look left, may not look up, etc. There is a choice. But with an open eyes, you cannot say, I may see and I may not see. That is possible if eyes are closed. When eyes are open, pramana vyapara takes place and you see it, no efforts. And there is no will involved over here. Any knowledge, the will surrenders as though. In case of Atma, the fellow, as I said, self is known and unknown. Now I go one step further. It is known, and I add an adjective, erroneously known. There is an error in self-knowledge. What is known? It's not simply I know I am. When I say Swatasiddhaha, it doesn't require any operation of means of knowledge. Oh, are you there? Oh, I think I'm there. I see myself. No. Are you there? I think I'm there because I touch myself. Are you there? I smell. No, without sense of smell and touch and see, hearing anything. You know you are. I am. But then it is erroneously known as I am Jiva. Now, Jiva means all included. Physio-psycho-complex, all complexes included. There is an error. There is a notion. There is a confusion caused error. The job of teaching is to remove first the confusion. When you tell that fellow who sees a snake, this is rope. The fellow goes, this is snake. You have to say this cannot be snake. Why? If it were a snake, it would move. I am touching it with the stick. It doesn't move. Nothing happens, etc. It has no fang, etc. Oh, then what? Then throw the torchlight and then say, this is rope. So the job is to negate the error that I am Jiva first. And then propound, establish and make, I have to see what that I am, Satyam Gnanam Anantam Jagat Karanam Brahma. That's the whole thing. That being a case, I have to surrender my notions and prejudices to Shastra Pramana. You require a special attitude. That attitude of surrendering will means ego. And that surrender of prejudices, of notions, my improper values, my improper way of thinking, that becomes necessary. That is why it is a samit panihi, with shraddha. Now the question comes, one may say, I know Sanskrit, I have known the method of teaching this, the drashtantan, etc. I can study myself. No. Though Shastra is a pramana, for this pramana to work, you need three things. One, the readiness, adhikaritvam, what we said, that is in the first line. The pariksha lokan brahmano nirvedamaya. Second, and a proper attitude of shraddha. And third, a competent teacher to unfold you the Shastra. Then pramana will work. Why you require a teacher? Why can't I do it by myself? Shankaracharya ji, and what kind of teacher? That also the Shruti says, that Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, that we will discuss why that kind of teacher. It doesn't work. Shankaracharya ji says, why it doesn't work? Being a Shabda Pramanam, and the words are always available for not understanding and misunderstanding. That's the nature of words. Because you don't read what is said there. You read what is there in your mind, or at least colored by your mind. That's why you find that. Especially when the head of the state, the president or the prime minister makes a press conference, every TV channel or a newspaper has a different headlines. Prime minister said that. Because that what he said was colored by his or her own views, our own prejudices, his or her own values. Subjectivity gets involved into it. And the very subject, the ego, is the culprit. That culprit always wants to meddle in the teaching. So, this can never ever work. And the very subject, the inquirer, as I said, is the culprit. That fellow is to be hanged. And it will never let itself hang. Exactly like our previous governments used to have inquiry commissions. And in that very inquiry commissions would be headed by a minister who himself is under inquiry. So obviously, he will give a report that minister has not committed any bribe. Simple as that. So that ego needs to surrender to a teacher who knows how to handle the words. And when I say, the Shankaracharya's Vakya is there, Shastragnopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam na kuryat iti etat Gurumeva iti avadharana phalam. Shruti says, go to teacher only. The evakar emphasis is that even if you know, have you studied some Shastra, by read, don't do it independent. The one has to surrender, and as I said, who can handle the words. You know what does it mean by handling the words? This is the definition. One who knows what word not to use first, or when to use, and in which context to use. That means make sure that no more confusion is created and the existing confusions get removed. That is called handling the words. Simply saying doesn't enlighten the person, because what is being told is beyond words, and it cannot help the student. Student doesn't know. Satyam Jnanavanantam Brahma. And then what is that? Oh, the self is eternal, beyond time, and it cannot be killed, and it is unborn. And all these words are jumbo, rumbo, jumbo. It doesn't make any sense. The words needs to be unfolded in a proper context. Beyond time, Anantam, self is bliss. But what is bliss? There is a confusion in bliss because it becomes subjective. And then said divine bliss, they add another thing. And there's a profound bliss. What is profundity in limitless thing? I just don't understand. People keep using the adjectives and synonyms, which doesn't make any sense. The only thing is sometimes you speak so well that the student will get awed. That's all. Awestruck. Wow, wow. But the growth doesn't happen. So, handling the words is necessary. Therefore, Shruti says, Guru Meva Bhigachet. We'll discuss a few things about that, this mantra, next week and conclude it. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Namaste. See you on next Saturday.